Hello, friends. Nicholas here with DIVOted Talks, Devoted Talks. And this is where we take ancient wisdom and put it into modern contexts so that there's greater healing and greater quality of life for people living in the modern age, trying to find their wellness stride, find their wellness jive and groove. And so, what do I want to talk to you about today? That's a great question. What is there ever to talk about? I go back to something I write about. I may have even done a podcast on it before. I don't really remember, but either everything means something or nothing has any meaning at all. There can't be an in between, because who gets to decide whether it's important or not? Yes, subjectively, you get to decide what's important to you, but if at least one thing is important to you, that means it's got to have importance to somebody else as well, somewhere, right? And that other things you don't have importance to, that means there should be somebody who has importance to it. And so what am I trying to say here? If you can find something important and something not important, then that same energy is true for other objects, for other people. And so either everything means something or nothing means anything. And because I find some things to mean something to me, then that means everything has to mean something in some way, shape, or form. Right? Because sometimes it's hard in the world. Sometimes things don't make sense. Sometimes things don't have any logical reason for having happened or to be, or why? Why? There was a natural disaster over the 4th of July weekend in Texas, and children are dead. Not that adults dying isn't a sad occasion, but 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, little girls just swept away in a river. And that's tragic. But what good can come of that? Either everything means something or nothing means anything. So either it's a cruel and meaningless joke from the universe, or maybe there's some higher good that can and will come of this incident. And I don't want to get stuck on that incident because it's highly polarized and it's highly sensitive as far as emotions and what people are going through. And, my deepest condolences to people who have lost somebody or know somebody who was involved, or somebody who's the victim of somebody being lost in that tragic flooding. There's no words that can describe that kind of loss, especially a parent of a child, but anybody in any way, shape, or form. It's sad. It's a terrible thing. And words are cheap. Words may be cheap, but they can make meaning that builds instead of tears down. And so how do we take things from having meaning and everything having meaning to words that have meaning that are also meaningful to others, meaningful to the moment, meaningful to the greater world and experience and things that are happening out there. And so what does yoga say? What does Ayurveda say? Yoga and Ayurveda knows that life is, according to Sankhya's philosophy, the journey of consciousness into matter and then back again. And that there's so many different orders of magnitude that it can be experienced from the cell all the way to the individual, that is composed of many cells, that is composed of organs, that's composed of organ systems, that's composed of tissues. I am a finger. I have a finger. It's a part of me. It is designed with my genetics. And yet I'm not just my finger. I'm more than that. And yet, if I am just in the finger, I am just the finger. I'm not going to go down those rabbit holes. But again, Yoga and Ayurveda is acknowledging that the journey of consciousness into matter is a simple yet convoluted type thing, because we have beliefs and we have so many structured ways of interpreting things with our minds that it's not as simple as what it is, right? The whole reason 5,000 plus years ago that they came up with yoga and they came up with Ayurveda and they brought it into the world was to help with suffering, because it's really hard to have a physical experience. And the way we go about it with this waking up into a body that is helpless, that has to be raised, that has to be programmed, that has to be nourished into the world, even after birth, right? Like there's conception and then there's this whole growth period within the mom. But then once you come out of the mom, there's this whole growth period with the parents and this developmental period. And it's hard. But again, everything has meaning or nothing has meaning. And because there are some things to me that have meaning, to me, that means everything has to have meaning. Now, do we have to subscribe to it? Do we have to take it to heart? Do we have to internalize that meaning? No. No, we don't have to internalize meaning for anybody else. If that thing over there does have meaning to you, cool. But leave it at that. You know, I find that people who find meaning in something sometimes have to force others to find meaning in it as well, right? Like CrossFitters, vegans. There's jokes about that, and that's the only reason I brought it up. But you know, you guys have met it, Hare Krishnas. Like sometimes it's just you have to see it this way. Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, right? There's this, you need to see it my way. You need to understand it my way. I need to save you. I need you to have the same meaning or share the same meaning as moi. And it's not a sad occasion that people do that. It just feels like a really convoluted or misaligned way of interacting with life, and especially being in relationship to other humans. I struggle with this. I have had a lot of programming that I have to live beyond with regards to what other people are around me for, right? I learned how to survive, and I learned how to take resources and bend them to my needs and sometimes even my will. And I have to let go of that a lot of the times so that I can appreciate what others bring to the table for the simple fact that they're at the table. Right? And whoever's at my table changes and shifts day to day. There's different people at my table. Week to week, month to month, year to year, season to season, there's different people at my table. And that can change hour to hour and minute to minute. And it's all beautiful if I let it be. But what could make it not beautiful? Me applying meaning in a way that makes it suffering. And what yoga and Ayurveda is saying is that those are just interpretations, albeit valid in the way that they came to exist, but not valid in the way that they make you feel. Because if it's anything less than joy and happiness at the end of the day, what is your relationship to that thing, right? It's not saying that you should always feel happy and you should always feel magnificent and benevolent, and that everything's out for your good, right? Life can feel oppressive and life can feel very vicious in the way that it does things. And yet there can be a beauty in all of that, because there's things that may be happening that you can't see, that this is a path that it initiated you towards. And so Ayurveda and yoga is calling you to step back, to chill out, to quiet your mind, to still the fluctuations so that you can actually perceive it well, whether you get the whole story or just a piece of the story, or just know, hey, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, peace, brother, peace, sister, peace, peace, peace. More will be revealed. So either everything has meaning or nothing has meaning. But if more will be revealed, I think everything has meaning, at least for me. What about you? Be well, be free.